Nation at 5 with me, Ridhima Bhatnagar. There is trouble only increasing for the Delhi former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in a major setback for him and for the Aam Aadmi Party. You have the Rouse Avenue Court today extending Manish Sisodia's custody by 5 more days. Now remember, this comes after the Enforcement Directorate had sought 7 days remand of Manish Sisodia, claiming that there are certain fresh revelations that need further investigation. Now, while countering the Enforcement Directorate's claims, Sisodia's counsel has gone on to say that all the pointers that the Enforcement Directorate has mentioned have already been probed by the CBI. So what really is the new evidence? Remember, the court had given the Enforcement Directorate custody of Sisodia for 7 days. The ED earlier had arrested Manish Sisodia after questioning him at Tihar jail.
ये पूरा मामला दिल्ली की सरकार को बदनाम करने के लिए, दिल्ली के शिक्षा मॉडल को डिरेल करने के लिए, दिल्ली के लोगों ने आम आदमी पार्टी को जिता क्यों दिया, सरकार क्यों बनवा दी, इसकी सजा देने के लिए मनीष सिसोदिया और सत्येंद्र जैन को जेल में रखा गया। आपने उस मनीष सिसोदिया के साथ आतंकवादियों जैसा व्यवहार किया। ये देश इस बात को भूलेगा नहीं।
Today, once again, the courts have upheld justice and have denied that those who are bhrashtacharis and kattar beimans, they should not be given relief. But unfortunately, instead of answering specific questions on the Sharab Ghotala, we see that Arvind Kejriwal and his company time and again do bhrashtachar, then they play the victimhood card and shout atyachar, atyachar. They, from Sansad to Sadak, do durachar and never give report card of their bhrashtachar. Today, they must answer specific questions on the bhrashtachar that has been done in the name of Sharab Ghotala. Today, Arvind Kejriwal ji must answer. He is not just the protector of this corruption, but he is the progenitor, the producer of this corruption.
मनीष सिसोदिया जी के खिलाफ सीबीआई और एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के पास मनीष सिसोदिया जी के खिलाफ रत्ती भर भी केस नहीं है, सबूत नहीं है, एविडेंस नहीं है। सीबीआई ने इतने दिन तक मनीष सिसोदिया जी को रिमांड में लेकर पूछताछ करी। अब हम मनीष सिसोदिया जी को बेल देने जा रहे हैं। सीबीआई मनीष सिसोदिया जी को राहत देकर बेल देने जा रही थी कि भाई पूछताछ के लिए आपने उन्हें अपनी रिमांड में लिया था, पूछताछ हो गई, कुछ पूछताछ में निकला नहीं। मैं ये आपको बताना चाहता हूं इस मंच से कि पिछले 7 दिन में मनीष सिसोदिया जी से इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के अफसरों ने मात्र 15 घंटे पूछताछ करी है।
ये सारे के सारे मौसेरे भाई आपस में मिलकर अपने अपने परिवार को बचाने और भ्रष्टाचार को छुपाने के लिए जनता के बीच में निरंतर भ्रम फैलाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। मुख्यमंत्री, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री श्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की संज्ञान में ही नहीं थी, बल्कि उन्हीं के स्थान पर यह हो रहा था। तो अब किसी भी प्रकार के बचाव का स्कोप आम आदमी पार्टी के लोगों के पास दिखाई नहीं पड़ता है।
So as we pointed out, there has been a big setback for Manish Sisodia because the court has extended the ED custody for a time period of 5 days. Let's quickly walk you through the arguments that happened, the points that were put forth by the agency and the counter that came from Sisodia's counsel as well. Now, what the Enforcement Directorate essentially has told the court is that there is new revelation that has come to light in the course of this investigation and thus an extension is needed. Now, essentially what the legal counsel of Manish Sisodia is saying that this is something that the CBI has already probed. They didn't find anything. So what is this new evidence that the Enforcement Directorate right now is working with? Now, the Enforcement Directorate has also told the court that they in fact want to confront Manish Sisodia with the other accused as far as this case is concerned, and thus this extension is needed. Legal counsel of Manish Sisodia is saying that as of now only 4 people have been confronted. They feel this is just a delaying tactic, this is a witch hunt. They just want to keep Manish Sisodia without any real evidence behind bars. The agencies at this point are also saying that forensics and mobile data in fact is being analyzed. They also feel that very crucial digital evidence in fact was destroyed by the likes of Manish Sisodia and other accused in this case. Here, the legal counsel of Manish Sisodia is in fact saying that the investigation took place for just 11 hours in the last 7 days. So they're saying once again that agencies in fact are being misused. There is no real money trail to tie Manish Sisodia as far as this alleged scam is concerned. The Enforcement Directorate at this point has also told the court that change in profit margin is something that needs to be probed. Why did we see this change from 5 to 12%? There are no clear answers as of now. The legal counsel of Manish Sisodia is saying that the ED needs to justify the probe that they're doing. So the point that they keep on reiterating is, one, what is the real evidence that is tying Manish Sisodia to this entire alleged scam? And secondly, when the CBI has already looked into it and found nothing, why is the ED only wanting an extension of custody? The Enforcement Directorate has also told the court that there is change in profit margin, as we pointed out, that needs to be probed, and the Enforcement Directorate feels that there is a larger nexus at play, and that's why they feel this time is needed to get all these accused face to face so the discrepancies in fact can be found out. What does this mean as far as the investigation is concerned? What does this mean as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned? Let's also now bring in our colleagues. Ananya Bhatnagar has been tracking all developments for us as far as the court is concerned. Anshul is also joining us on the broadcast. Ananya, this is a big setback for Manish Sisodia. 7 days is what the ED wanted. 5-day extension has been granted. What is the point that is being made by the Enforcement Directorate as to why they want an extension at this point?
Well, the Enforcement Directorate clearly pointed out that there's certain kind of a crucial information has emerged out into the investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, and particularly the 7 days of interrogation that was done with Manish Sisodia. He was confronted with certain people as well, but more confrontation with people like Dinesh Arora, Amit Arora, the then Excise Commissioner Mr. Rahul Singh, and certain other people like C. Arvind has to be done. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate has also gone on to say that he was involved in large-scale destruction of evidence, and definitely the Enforcement Directorate also said that he was using cell phones and SIM cards which were purchased in the name of somebody else, and this shows how cool-headedly he has tried to destroy that particular evidence, and he was very well aware of what is going to happen. In fact, a very, very clear indication that was pointed out by the Enforcement Directorate before the court was that he destroyed the mobile phone that he was using for the longest time on the same day when the LG actually forwarded a complaint to the Central Bureau of Investigation to look into the liquor policy case. So the ED pointed out to the timing of this. They said that there is certain kind of crucial evidence that has appeared in this case, and though the Aam Aadmi Party, whether in court or outside in the political arena, goes on to say that there is no kind of evidence against Manish Sisodia is concerned, we've seen how the courts have gone on to give out remands continuously, whether it's in the CBI case or in the ED case. So definitely the courts not only see these remand notes, but also the case diary that is presented to them, statements that are given out to the court, because certain kinds of things are not diverged in the open court, but are before the judge and before the discretion of the judge. What are the reasons why Enforcement Directorate has got this extension of custody is something that we need to see in the detailed order copy when it comes out in a short while from now.
I request you to stay on with us. While we said the Enforcement Directorate feels that there is a larger nexus, the investigation needs to happen, accused need to be brought face to face, and thus this extension is needed. Politically speaking, Anshul, let's bring you also in the conversation. The Aam Aadmi Party has been saying this is a witch hunt, there is no real evidence. But there is also a new attack that's now coming in from the BJP, because today there were reports that the residence which was earlier given to Manish Sisodia in fact has been given to Atishi. The point that the BJP is now making, that this is the mindset of the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. They have a use and throw. They've realized that Manish Sisodia is behind bars and they've completely forgotten him. Has there been a counter to this or a response from the Aam Aadmi Party?
So as of now, the Aam Aadmi Party has not responded to those allegations or those political war of words that has broken out between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party since the flat in which, or the bungalow in which Manish Sisodia was residing, that has been transferred to Atishi. But yes, the BJP has taken pot shots at the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that initially when Manish Sisodia was arrested by the CBI, the Aam Aadmi Party came out and said that the condition of Manish Sisodia's wife is not good, and even after that, the BJP and the Enforcement Directorate leaving no stone unturned to harass Manish Sisodia. But yes, the BJP is now raising questions that if the condition of Manish Sisodia's wife was not so good, why was the decision taken to actually transfer that, to give that property to Atishi at this point? But however, Aam Aadmi Party is still trying to fight this battle of perception from the angle, from the lens of Manish Sisodia being an education minister in the national capital. We have heard Sanjay Singh just a few moments ago where he came out and said that this entire conspiracy is being hatched to make sure that the image of the Aam Aadmi Party is tarnished. Aam Aadmi Party since day one has been claiming that neither the CBI nor the ED has found anything in the investigation that has happened till now. But yes, the courts do not agree with that. In fact, the courts have time and again
and that's a crucial point that you're making. Even though the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying that this is just vendetta politics because the BJP is threatened with the rise that the Aam Aadmi Party is happening, the arguments that the agencies are making with the courts actually seem to be making sense because they have extended the custody for Manish Sisodia. Unfortunately, I'll have to leave that conversation there. Ananya and Anshul, keep a close eye on all those developments for us. We'll continue to come back to you. Let's also bring in our guest to try and understand what really is happening. Spokesperson of the BJP, Vineet Goenka, joining us on the broadcast. Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Siddharth Sharma, also now joining us on the broadcast. Vineet ji, I'd like to begin the conversation with you. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying from day one that this was on expected lines. We knew that our leaders would be targeted because the BJP is threatened with the rise and the kind of resonance that the Aam Aadmi Party is having on the ground. But the larger point they are making now legally is that since the CBI has already looked into this case, the CBI found absolutely nothing against Manish Sisodia. The ED is doing exactly that, same line of questioning, same evidence, but nothing really is tying Manish Sisodia to that allegations of a money trail or kickback. So for how long can the agencies continue to target Manish Sisodia with no real evidence?
Ridhima ji, Ram Ram to you, Ram Ram to my co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching this particular part. There is a very old saying in Hindi, "Jo boge wahi khaoge." So they have sown the seeds of corruption. They will face the heat of ED, CBI and the court. ED, CBI, maybe agencies, they may get instructions from the officers who are sitting there, but courts are not taking any kind of decisions or discussions or any kind of instructions from anybody. Courts go by evidences and also the wisdom of the judge. By making such kind of irrelevant, irresponsible statement, they are actually challenging the wisdom of the court. And I would request them not to do that because in India, justice system prevails. I would have rather request them to not waste time of the people. The court, let us know, let the people know, let the court know how much money, who has taken, so that the time saves. Yeah, it is very sure the money has been passed on. Manish Sisodia is a beneficiary of this particular part. How come the approvers who are there, they have made this statement, and I've been repeating on your channel. Let me repeat it once again. Mahindra transferred 1 crore rupees in account of Radhe Industries. Isn't it true? Isn't it true that Mahindra, on behalf of Vijay Nair, he transferred 2 crore rupees to Arjun Pandey, who is very close associate of Manish Sisodia? And who is Vijay Nair? These gentlemen used to stay in Gehlot's house. Gehlot is a minister in Arvind Kejriwal ministry. I rather suspect there are more ministers, more people from Aam Aadmi Party who are involved in this particular part. So my request to you, to Siddharthji, and in turn to their party would be, don't waste time of ED, CBI. Tell us how much money was passed on. Let us close this case fast so that the accused may be sentenced and everybody will save their time.
Now, Siddharth, the point that the BJP is making and that you just heard from Vineet Goenka is not anything new. They're saying that how come the Aam Aadmi Party is raising a question on every possible agency and organization in the country. You're questioning the intent and the merit of the agencies. Now you're also questioning the intent of the courts. Because as Vineet is pointing, and that is actually being proven, all these allegations that the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that this is just vendetta politics, this is a witch hunt, that doesn't seem to be cutting ice as far as the court is concerned, because the court actually seems to be seeing merit in the arguments that are being put forth by the Enforcement Directorate. Otherwise, this extension of custody wouldn't have been given.
Ridhima, since I'm defending this case now, give me 2 minutes of uninterrupted time, and I think I deserve that latitude. I'll answer to all the questions you have asked as well as Vineet has asked, and I'll answer these questions with a very rhetorical and very clear question. There is a law and there is an abuse of law. Prime example being the jailing of stalwarts of India like Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and L K Advani during the emergency. They were incarcerated, jailed under law. but that was also abuse of law. This is a simple this is a simple analogy that everyone can understand. Point number two, the biggest money launderers of India today are people like Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi. Every kid knows that. The biggest Hawala racket today is run by the D company. All these crooks are let loose by the world's biggest party, the BJP. In jailing a good education minister like Manish Sisodia and letting go Mallya and Mr. Nirav Modi free, BJP is demonstrating to the world how penny wise and pound foolish it is.
I wanted to give you uninterrupted time, but I have a problem with this argument that the Aam Aadmi Party spokespersons have been making. You're questioning the intent of the agencies as far as the liquor scam is concerned. That's okay. But help me understand, how does the education model have anything to do as far as the allegations of the Liquorgate scam is concerned? Because these questions are coming from the agency. Where is that key file? We don't know. Why was the profit margin increased from 5 to 12%? We don't know. What is the larger nexus as far as the South cartel is concerned? That investigation is needed. So for how long can the Aam Aadmi Party use the example of their education model or their health model vis-a-vis these allegations of the Liquorgate scam? Help us understand these pointed questions that have been raised by the agencies and you'll prove your case then.
Yeah, Riddhima, I just asked for 2 minutes of uninterrupted time. You gave it. Let us, the judgment here, the viewers of CNN, IBN are wise enough. Let them judge whether what I'm speaking, what Aam Aadmi is speaking, a party is speaking makes sense or not. Let us not intervene here. Let me, just give me 2 minutes and I'll answer all the questions. And if they're not answered, you can ask me. I am not running away anywhere.
Okay.
The point is, this point is very simple. This isn't a war against corruption. This is a war against competence. BJP has absolutely zero governance record as far as education is concerned. BJP is afraid of competent governments like Aam Aadmi Party because they expose BJP's grave governance deficit. Now, as far as the excise policy is concerned, if the excise policy of Delhi is bad, how come the same excise policy in Punjab is getting 50% more revenue? Point number two, the earlier excise policy which was under question, which was withdrawn, that earlier excise policy was bringing into the exchequer nearly 3,000 crore rupees. The new excise policy is bringing in 9,000 crore rupees.
Yeah.
Point number three, Mr. Vineet Goenka was very clearly, he spoke this word and this is on record. He said that Mr. Manish Sisodia has gotten money. How does Mr. Vineet Goenka know about it? Is he ED? No. Because the facts state that whenever ED or CBI has raided Manish Sisodia's house, his bank lockers, his ancestral's house, not a single penny has been found. Now, the same Vineet Goenka is saying on TV, on national television, on record, that Manish Sisodia has taken money.
Actually, that essentially is the point. One second. I understood the point that you're making, Siddharth. And Vineet, that's exactly the point that the Aam Aadmi Party has been making. That yes, you can continue to have these allegations, but these allegations will have to be proven in the court of law. Till now, the ED only feels that there are kickbacks that have been received, that there is a larger money trail, but that money trail actually hasn't been proven, and that's exactly what was reiterated by the legal team as well. They're in fact saying that because the same line of questioning happened with the CBI, with the Enforcement Directorate, there's nothing really new. They're in fact going one step ahead and saying, look at the productivity of the agencies themselves. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying over the last 1 week, Manish Sisodia has been questioned only for 11 hours because there is no real evidence to tie him up with these allegations. So it's not the Aam Aadmi Party, but the other opposition also saying, how come only our leaders are being targeted and nobody from the BJP is being targeted as far as the agencies are concerned?
So let me answer one by one every point, and thank you for calling me here. Number point, when I see Siddharth ji jittered, fluttering, trying to search for words, I'm really happy because, you know, that shows.
I'm smiling at your foolishness. Vineet, I'm smiling at your foolishness. On national television, being a spokesperson and not an
Siddharth, Vineet didn't interrupt you. Let him make his point because I'm also running out of time. Vineet, make your point. Okay, Siddharth, 1 second. Vineet, make your point.
You are flustered.
I will not speak till he shuts his mouth.
Siddharth, he didn't interrupt you. Let him make his point. I'm also running out of time. Vineet, make your point.
Yeah. So point number one, Siddharthji, your corruption, your attitude shows that you have not heard what I said. Please go through that. And if I'm wrong, please file a case against me. I dare you. I challenge you for that particular part. And two, you said incorrect. Every bottle which the earlier policy, government is to earn 329.89 paise. Hear me out again, 329 rupees, 89 paise. Now, because of a new policy, government only gets 33 rupees. There is a loss of more than 1,800 crore rupees in that last 8 months. You have taken away the money. You have forced people to drink liquor. You are not only corrupt, but also, you have done criminal conspiracies of destroying evidences. Madam, please tell me, which deputy chief minister would have multiple SIMs, multiple mobiles, which he would destroy when there is an inquiry which is going on? Why would he take mobiles in the names of somebody else? That shows his criminal intent and criminal mind. There is one simple thing which you can see about Aam Aadmi Party. These were the same people who were putting posters to Rahul Gandhi, Lalu, and Uddhavji in 2013.
So the BJP is saying that this actually needs to be investigated. If the Aam Aadmi Party hasn't done anything wrong, why don't they just let the investigation be complete? Where the Aam Aadmi Party is saying, but there is no real evidence, why are our leaders being targeted? Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time. Siddharth and Vineet, pleasure speaking to both of you. Shifting our focus to the other big political story that we're tracking. Once again, both houses of parliament were adjourned today amid loud sloganeering. BJP continues with its demand. They continue to ask for an apology from Rahul Gandhi over his comments on Indian democracy made in United Kingdom. The opposition parties, on the other hand, they also continue with their demand wanting a JPC probe into the Adani issue. Rahul Gandhi was seen in Lok Sabha for the second time today since the row really erupted over his comments. The opposition parties later staged a dharna against the centre near Mahatma Gandhi's statue near the parliament. Rahul and Sonia Gandhi, along with the Congress chief, joined the protest and once again reiterated the opposition's demand wanting for a JPC. Meanwhile, during a roadshow in Karnataka's Chitradurga, you had the BJP chief JP Nadda also slamming Rahul Gandhi over his comments in the United Kingdom.
See, I want to make it clear. Unfortunately for you, I'm a member of parliament.
सही मायने में अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि वो सांसद हैं, क्योंकि जिस सदन का वो हिस्सा है उसी को ही बदनाम करने का, उसी के बारे में झूठ फैलाने का काम वो विदेशी धरती पर करते हैं।
मैं राहुल गांधी से जानना चाहता हूं कि यूरोप और अमेरिका को भारत के आंतरिक मामलों में दखल देने के लिए उकसाने के पीछे उनकी मंशा क्या है। इससे जनता को भारी आक्रोश है, जनप्रतिनिधियों में भी आक्रोश दिख रहा है। हर राष्ट्रभक्त सांसद इस समय अंदर से आहत है। राहुल गांधी, आपको देश के खिलाफ इस पाप के लिए देश की जनता से माफी मांगनी ही होगी।
डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में अगर कहीं डिबेट होता, डिबेट में कोई बात करते हैं तो क्या वो एंटी नेशनल होते हैं? ये नड्डा जो बोल रहे हैं ये सरासर गलत है। ऐसे स्टेटमेंट को मैं कंडम करता हूं और कोई माफी मांगने का सवाल नहीं है। हम जमकर उत्तर उसमें पार्लियामेंट में देंगे। राहुल गांधी जी को अगर मौका मिला जरूर सारी बातें वहां पर बताएंगे।
कि सदन को चलने दें, आपको नारेबाजी करने नहीं भेजा सदन में, देश की जनता देख रही है, इसलिए मेरा आपसे आग्रह है सदन को चलने दें। हाउस ऑर्डर में आएगा, मैं सबको बोलने का मौका दूंगा, लेकिन हाउस ऑर्डर में आना चाहिए। आप नहीं चलना चाहते।
Bring in our colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's joining us on the broadcast. So Pallavi, the first week has been a whitewash, but there was another allegation that was made by the opposition that their voices were being stifled because mics were muted. Can you give our viewers better context of what was the allegation and what are sources telling you what really happened?
So around 30 minutes long is when we could see the proceedings of the Lok Sabha, but we could not hear the audio. And we saw the strong reactions which has come in from the Congress party, particularly saying that because they wanted Rahul Gandhi to stand up and speak today, and it asked for time from the speaker, the mics were deliberately switched off by the speaker's office or by the parliament secretariat, which is the government actually. But what we are being clarified and very categorically so by the parliament sources is that this was a complete technical glitch, and to accuse the government getting involved, the speaker's office to get involved is absolutely wrong. It's a technical glitch which can happen anytime, and everyone is given a chance to speak. They're also giving the precedence of, for example, Rahul Gandhi, who spoke for more than 40 minutes on a motion of thanks to the presidential speech. And they said, every member is allotted time. They're allowed to speak depending on the short duration discussion. And therefore, these are baseless allegations coming in from the opposition parties.
Okay, Pallavi, we'll leave the conversation there. We'll have to see what the fresh week brings. Will this standoff really continue between the BJP and the Congress. Time for us to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with lots more.
Assistance of any of the investigation agencies of India while completing their report. So the point is that at this moment and at this juncture, there is no prima facie evidence to say that there is crony capitalism or there are charges which are apparently proved.
Rahul Gandhi says that if 3 top netas or the mantris or from the government have made allegations against him, he should be allowed an opportunity to respond on the floor of the House. The Congress party continues to rake up the Adani issue, saying it's a matter of corruption and quid pro quo.
Very good evening. I would inform or rather make Rahul Gandhi remember through you that when he had been elected as the MP of Wayanad and had entered into the Lok Sabha on the first day, he had to swear by the Constitution of India. And the oath was, as I'm saying right now, I'm just, quoting the oath. He had said, I elected as member of the House to swear in the name of God that I will bear true allegiance to the Constitution of India and that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India and that I will faithfully discharge my duty. Now here is an MP who goes to Britain, who goes to Cambridge University in London and talks ill of the systems in India. Now during Bharat Jodo Yatra, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, wherever the opportunity was there for him, he spoke ill of the government, he spoke ill of the Prime Minister.
Prashna ji, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you in the middle of the argument. We'll fix your audio. I think there's a problem with your mic. I'll come back to you. In the meanwhile, the points that you've raised. Jyotimani ji.
I couldn't hear.
There's a problem with your audio and mic. We'll just fix that for her. Jyotimani ji, I'm coming to you. Rahul Gandhi said that he has said nothing ill about the institutions of India or nothing ill about Indian democracy. Multiple issues have been raised by the opposition parties. But I ask this to you as a citizen of this country, that why is the legislative business being held hostage? There are about 3 dozen bills which are pending for some kind of consideration by the elected parliament of the day, and one adjournment after another. Isn't the opposition also to be held accountable when it comes to the constructive functioning of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha?
See, we have cooperated all along, unlike the BJP in opposition when we were in the government. See, it is the responsibility of the government to run the house smoothly when the opposition is raising a very, very important issues like corruption, crony capitalism, unemployment, a price rise, this kind of issues. When we are raising the very important issues, government is not relenting, government is not willing to discuss the issue in the floor of the parliament, government is not ready to form a joint parliamentary committee on this Adani scam. So this is where actually in the worst, today the treasury benches, the ruling party MPs itself actually stalling the house for last 2-3 days, which is unheard of in the Indian parliament.
So your core demand is of a JPC, your core demand is of a JPC. Your argument is an allegation is of crony capitalism. I have experts with me on the broadcast. Yogendra Kapoor is also.
Capitalism alone, it's a scam. It's a scam.
Yes,
it is directly
crony capitalism and allegations of quid pro quo that you've made. What is the evidence on record? Give me evidence on record.
Corruption.
And I'll take. Give me evidence on record, and then I'll take it, to the experts as well. The argument that the BJP and many experts are making is that this is only something that has been made up by the opposition parties. There may be something wrong when it comes to a private company or a private individual, but to have these allegations, sweeping allegations of some kind of quid pro quo with the government, these are unfounded. They have no evidentiary basis. What is the basis of these allegations, ma'am?
See, Rahul Gandhi ji has actually in the floor of the parliament produced the evidence to this allegation. So many media reports have come. See, yesterday, my answer to my question, the government of India has said actually there was a DRI inquiry against Mr. Adani groups, and the inquiry is completed one issue. The other issue that regarding the Indonesia import, the coal import from Indonesia, that issue is still yet to be inquiry is completed. So the inquiry is completed. Then why are you keeping it for very secret? Why don't you put it in a public domain? Why don't you take action against that? We are asking. There is a DRI. Your agency, DRI itself conducted an inquiry. There is a report. There is a wrongdoing. There is a corruption. Then why you are not acting on it? It's not we are saying. There is a report of the government is there. Why don't you table it? Why don't you make it public?
In the history of modern independent India, and I don't have to go back, too much in time. During the coal scam and the 2G scam, the Supreme Court was looking into it. There was a parallel investigation that was being done by the CBI and Enforcement Directorate. The Supreme Court was involved. And then there was a demand of the Joint Parliamentary Committee that was made by the BJP, and it was constituted also. Why can't the BJP, when in power, do the same thing? Aparajita.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. Let's talk about the political turmoil that's still on in Pakistan. Remember, the Court of Law has provided a big relief to former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, because the Islamabad High Court has suspended Imran Khan's arrest warrant in the Tosha Khana case. And they have also blocked the police from arresting the former Prime Minister. Now, you would remember earlier the court had directed the police to arrest Imran and produce him before the court by the 18th of March. It is also important to note that Imran Khan is facing multiple court cases which he says are only politically motivated and designed to keep him out of elections later this year. Now, the PTI chief had also approached the Lahore High Court to seek protective bail in 9 cases.
हिंदुस्तान हमारी आंखों के सामने आगे निकला। 80 की दिहाई तक अब मैं जब हिंदुस्तान मैच खेल के आता था पाकिस्तान तो लगता था एक गरीब तरीन मुल्क से मैं अमीर मुल्क में आ गया हूं। और ये मेरे घर पे ऐसा हमला हुआ कि मैं समझा मैं कोई दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा दहशतगर्द बैठा हुआ हूं। ना इनमें इंसानियत है, ना ईमानदारी है, ना काबिलियत है, और डरे हुए हैं एक चीज से कि कहीं इलेक्शंस ना हो जाए, कहीं इमरान खान इक्तदार में ना आ जाए। बस ये कोई कानून लेकिन इंप्लीमेंट करने नहीं आए थे, ये मुझे जेल में डालने आए थे। और जेल में क्यों ये पूरी कोशिश हो रही है डालने की? क्योंकि लंदन प्लान का ये हिस्सा है। वो नवाज शरीफ को श्योरिटी दी हुई है कि इमरान खान को जेल में डालेंगे।
Let's also now bring in our colleague Siddhant, who in fact is now joining us on the broadcast. Siddhant, considering the fact there has been a big relief for Imran Khan, that arrest warrant in the Tosha Khana case against him has been suspended. So in fact, he's dodged arrest once again. Now, he's been working on this optics that there is a larger plot to kill him, to assassinate him. They just want to put him in jail because they don't want elections. Considering the fact Imran Khan has now gotten this relief, how is he going to mount the pressure on the ruling establishment?
Well, look, there is
Okay, we'll just try and re-establish that audio line with Siddhant. We seem to be having a bit of a difficulty. But as we pointed out, there are 2 things that have happened. One, there has been a relief for Imran Khan because that arrest warrant in the Tosha Khana case against him has been suspended, which means he's dodged arrest once again. The other is the plan that Imran Khan is working with. Now, he is saying that I'm in fact just a victim. I'm a martyr because the ruling establishment just wants to keep me in jail because I've asked for elections. So he's made big claims. He's saying there is a plot that was hatched in London. He's gone on to say that Nawaz Sharif is behind it. Now he's saying the ruling establishment, in fact, wants him behind bars to torture him and possibly kill him as well. I believe our colleague Siddhant is now back with us. Siddhant, go ahead.
Well, yes. So I was saying that there is a consistent fear amongst the people in power in Pakistan, which includes judges, which includes people in military, deep state, and even in government, that Imran Khan can come back to power in Pakistan if election happens. And this is perhaps the reason that by using this pressure tactic, he makes sure that he evades arrest ultimately. Now, today is not perhaps for the first time that the orders for his arrest has been suspended by a higher court. Even last time around, we saw similar series of incidences taking place. Warrant gets issued, police reaches his home, Then there is a drama by his karyakartas, by his workers. Then he issues statements, and after which court gives a stay on his arrest. This time around, again, the same has been repeated. The same script has been repeated. It also establishes that with each passing day, Imran Khan's popularity is growing in Pakistan, and because of which, only because of the growing popularity, he's riding on the growing popularity. He is making sure that he gets relief from the court. He's also making sure that police doesn't arrest him. He's also making sure that he enjoys the popularity by giving calls to Karyakarta and by asking them to come to his his Daman Park residence and do a gherao and maybe throw stones.
So the point that Siddhant is
forces
making is actually interesting, that Imran Khan as of now seems to be using this entire legal tangle and legal tussle to try and make a comeback as far as his political career is concerned. Siddhant, we'll just request you to stay on with us because some other breaking developments also now coming in. And this is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. We are now understanding, courtesy our investigations editor Manoj Gupta, that the TDP is running parallel government in Pakistan. The Pakistan government official has now made a confession in writing, and we here at CNN News 18 have accessed that letter written by the KPK governor to ECP, where the KPK governor has written to the Election Commission, told cleverly that census work can't be done due to parallel government of TDP. This has created constitutional anomalies by census teams not being able to complete the process. The governor has also said that the situation is volatile. Siddhant continues to be with us. So Siddhant, what are these confessions that we've accessed here at CNN News 18 about TDP now running a parallel government as far as the functioning of Pakistan is concerned?
Well, very sensational claims have been made in the letter, which has been written to Governor of KKP to the Election Commission of Pakistan, and in fact, this letter underlines the growing influence of TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, in whole of country, and how the governor is not just making Election Commission aware about this group's growing dominance in some of the areas of Pakistan, but this letter also went on to highlight that how Pakistan is not in a right law and order state right now. So conducting elections at this time would not be a right decision. So many in Pakistan believe that this could be a tactic, this could be a strategy to delay elections. Some feel that what governor has highlighted in the letter is absolutely right, because there are enough proof to substantiate the growing dominance of TTP and how the forces in Pakistan, in fact, the deep state ISI is unable to tackle the growing dominance. You take attack in Quetta, you take the several bomb blasts that have taken place in Pakistan from.
So as Siddhant is pointing out, there are parallel developments that are taking place. This relief that has been granted by the court to Imran Khan, there is a huge possibility that he would want to use this to his advantage to make a comeback as far as the political career is concerned. But that's not the only turmoil that's taking place in Pakistan. There is also an economic crisis that continues to play out in Pakistan, and it's only worsening because sources have told us here at CNN News 18 that the IMF and Pakistan's third session of virtual talks to the staff level agreement, they still remain inconclusive. Now, the IMF has set 5 new tough conditions for Pakistan, and these include some very straight conditions of cutting down the defense budget and others. The IMF has also demanded political stability and assurance from opposition leaders. Pakistan's finance minister on Thursday snubbed the demand for abandoning the long-range nuclear missiles and said that nobody has any right to tell Pakistan what range of missiles it can have or not.
Is there to compromise anything on the nuclear or the missile program of Pakistan? No way. We are responsible citizens of Pakistan. Nobody has any right to tell Pakistan that what range of missiles it can have and what nuclear weapons it has. We have to have our own deterrence. So the delay is not on the part of the government of Pakistan. It has been extensive engagement, unusual, too lengthy, too long, too demanding, but we have completed everything. What IMF is now asking that they should actually complete and materialize those commitments. That's the only delay, and I can assure this House, the moment it is done and staff level agreement is signed, I will make sure that this, together with MEFP, is put on the website of Pakistan.
So what really are these conditions that have been set forth by the IMF in front of Pakistan? And this is an inside scoop that we're getting to you here on CNN News 18. The first condition is that you have to cut a 15% in defense budget and even military expenses. Condition 2 is that Pakistan should abandon the long-range nuclear missile program. Here we heard the reaction of the finance minister saying nobody can dictate to Pakistan what we can do and what we cannot. Condition 3 is third-party audit of Chinese loans and CPEC needs to happen. Other condition is that there also now needs to be a bridge to financially gap from friendly nations. Remember, Pakistan has debt from a lot of countries like China, Saudi Arabia and others. Condition 5 is stability and assurance from opposition leaders. And as we pointed out, we're picking up all of this courtesy our investigations editor, Manoj Gupta. So what really are the options in front of Pakistan going forward? Let's also now bring in our guests. We have strategic affairs expert, Dr. Monica Verma. We also have former diplomat, Ashok Sajjanar. Good to have both of you on the broadcast with us. Dr. Monica Verma, I'd like to begin the conversation with you. The IMF, not for the first time, has put these very strict and straightforward conditions for Pakistan that if you want a bailout, these are the conditions that you will have to adhere to. Let's talk to you about these conditions one by one. The first is cutting down as far as the defense budget is concerned, and the other is abandon the long-range nuclear missile program. But considering the fact, the reactions that we are seeing, we just heard from the finance minister of Pakistan saying nobody can really dictate to Pakistan what we should do or what we cannot. Is Pakistan even in that position to be denying these conditions, considering the fact that economic crisis is only worsening?
Not at all. In fact, this is not the first time that Pakistan has approached IMF. It's an IMF edict. Every year, every decade, there are examples of Pakistan turning on the door of IMF and seeking help. And, kudos to their guts. And literally, I'm amused that they still have this sort of mentality that they can be the rule dictators. In fact, if you look at the statements that have been coming from Pakistani leaders, they're saying that, they're not going to compromise on the nuclear and the missile program. They're also saying that if IMF, some officials, so I was just going through one of the pieces and some of the officials have said that IMF is trying to arm twist us, but we are not going to take this blackmail. But I'm trying to understand what are their alternatives, like what are the other options that Pakistan really has. Because I think Pakistan, whenever any problem was coming in the negotiation of this help that it is seeking from IMF, Pakistan has been quite conciliatory in approach. They have agreed to many conditions. And today, when the negotiations are going to wrap up and they may get a part of the help that they were seeking, at that time they are trying to play this card. But I do not think that they have this sort of power right now. They cannot, just simply dictate rules at all. If you look at Pakistani's economy, on one hand, there is the terrorist thing going on. So we have the TTP and the Baloch Liberation Army attacking Pakistan on all sides. Just on your channel, I learned that, they have created a parallel government in the Pashtun-dominated areas in Pakistan. And with such sort of internal turmoil, with such sort of, problematic law and order, people in Pakistan are going hungry. They have shortage of so many things.
Absolutely. The region is far from stability. There is a political turmoil and there is an economic crisis. And solutions for both seem to be a far reality for Pakistan. Ashok sir, I want to bring you in the conversation. Just looking at the economic picture of Pakistan, the GDP has slumped to an all-time low. Inflation has risen. People are hungry. They don't know if they can have 2 meals a day. Fiscal deficit has only widened, which means the debt burden is only going to increase. And there's not just only the IMF which has put these strict conditions. You have other nations that Pakistan has already borrowed from. So if not the IMF, what are the real options that are left with Pakistan?
No, you're very right, Ridhima, that Pakistan has very few options, if at all. It is really being put into a corner and it is being squeezed there. And, many of these conditions, of course, Pakistan is going to haggle. It's going to shout and scream and not say that it's not going. Some of what, the finance minister Asif Dar has said, that is for public consumption. Basically, it's sort of, to come out to the people and say that, this has to do with our security, with our integrity, and we are not going to compromise. But we have seen in the past also that they make all these bravado noises, but then slowly and gradually they start sort of, cooling down and keep on accepting most of the conditions. So, there might be some negotiations, but for instance, take this condition that there is going to be peace between, domestically between the government and the opposition. Now, you have just spoken about as to how Imran Khan has got this respite from the court, that he's not to be arrested. This is going to be, Ridhima, a huge shot in the arm for Imran Khan, and he's not going to let go of this opportunity. I think the only opportunity that the government had of reining in Khan was to put him behind bars and to keep their fingers crossed that his popularity will sink, once he's out of sight. But now that he's been given this respite by the courts, he's going to become even more aggressive. And I think going to make the life of the government even more difficult.
I agree with all the points that Ashok sir is making. That, the only option that was left with the ruling establishment was if Imran Khan was behind bars. Considering the fact he continues to get these reliefs, first in the judge case, now in the Tosha Khana case, and we're already seeing how Imran Khan is playing on the optics, and he seems to be getting some sort of resonance on the ground, Dr. Monica Verma. Is it a realization that the ruling establishment is already unpopular? There is a mounting economic crisis, so this is the window that Imran Khan wanted, and that is why today the only rhetoric that he's playing with is that I'm a victim, I'm a martyr, and if elections happen, I'm the only person that can save Pakistan. Is this going to become really problematic for the current establishment now?
Definitely, Ridhima. In fact, he's not only targeting the ruling party, but his target is also at the military regime in the country. He's clearly saying, he was someone who was put into place by the military, and today he's the same person who's criticizing the military big time. So I think if you look at Pakistan's problems, these problems did not emerge just because, one political party came into power. All these problems, they have their deep roots in the political economy of Pakistan, where there is a huge imbalance between the civilian government and the military leadership. And the military has been calling the shots. They have never tried to honestly, sit down and think what can they do with economy, how can they, actually set Pakistan on the path of some, healthy democracy and a stable economy. Every year, every single decade, they have literally looted the country. Look at the situation of the military leaders, and then look at the situation of ordinary people. They say that the civilian leaders are corrupt, but what about the military? Military is no less. In fact, if you look at Pakistan's economy right now, the military has a maximum share of the resources. They have sucked the country dry. They've taken on all the resources. And today, when Pakistan is in a problem, obviously, Imran Khan has got that optics on his side. He can play this card, and he can definitely say that, not just the civilian leaders, but also the military was wrong. They were not taking care of country's economy from such a long time. There was no, focus on export, diversifying Pakistan's economy, focusing on manufacturing, something credible that they could have done to make sure that the economy stays in place. Look at Bangladesh and then look at Pakistan. I think the comparison can speak for itself.
But the sad reality also is that among all of this bickering between political leaders trying to satiate their own ambitions and wanting to use this turmoil as an opportunity, what does this really mean for the citizen of Pakistan that only continues to go from a bad to worse position, and that hunger for them to even try and be sure of having 2 meals a day is only becoming a far reality? So we'll really have to see how all these developments really pan out for the future of Pakistan. I've completely run out of time. Dr. Monica Verma and Ashok Sajjanar, always a pleasure speaking with both of you. Time for us to slip into a very short break. We're coming back with lots more.
This moment and at this juncture, there is no prima facie evidence to say that there is crony capitalism or there are charges which are, apparently proved.
Rahul Gandhi says that if 3 top netas or the mantris from the government have made allegations against him, he should be allowed an opportunity to respond on the floor of the House. The Congress party continues to rake up the Adani issue, saying it's a matter of corruption and quid pro quo.
Very good evening. I would inform or rather make Rahul Gandhi remember through you that when he had been elected as the MP of Wayanad and had entered into the Lok Sabha on the first day, he had to swear by the Constitution of India. And the oath was, as I'm saying right now, I'm just, quoting the oath. He had said, I elected as member of the House to swear in the name of God that I will bear true allegiance to the Constitution of India and that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India and that I will faithfully discharge my duty. Now here is an MP who goes to Britain, who goes to Cambridge University in London and talks ill of the systems in India. Now during Bharat Jodo Yatra, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, wherever the opportunity was there for him, he spoke ill of the government, he spoke ill of the Prime Minister.
Prashnaji, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you in the middle of the argument. We'll fix your audio. I think there's a problem with your mic. I'll come back to you. In the meanwhile, the points that you've raised. Jyotimani ji.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, there's a problem with your audio and mic. We'll just fix that for her. Jyotimani ji, I'm coming to you. Rahul Gandhi said that he has said nothing ill about the institutions of India or nothing ill about Indian democracy. Multiple issues have been raised by the opposition parties. But I ask this to you as a citizen of this country, that why is the legislative business being held hostage? There are about 3 dozen bills which are pending for some kind of consideration by the elected parliament of the day, and one adjournment after another. Isn't the opposition also to be held accountable when it comes to the constructive functioning of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha?
See, we have cooperated all along, unlike the BJP in opposition when we were in the government. See, it is the responsibility of the government to run the house smoothly when the opposition is raising a very, very important issues like corruption, crony capitalism, unemployment, a price rise, these kind of issues. When we are raising the very important issues, government is not relenting, government is not willing to discuss the issue in the floor of the parliament, government is not ready to form a joint parliamentary committee on this Adani scam. So this is where actually in the worst, today the treasury benches, the ruling party MPs itself actually stalling the house for last 2-3 days, which is unheard of in the Indian parliament.
So your core demand is of a JPC, your core demand is of a JPC. Your argument is, an allegation is of crony capitalism. You know, I have experts with me on the broadcast. Yogendra Kapoor is also.
Capitalism alone, it's a scam. It's a scam.
Yes,
it is directly involved with the Prime Minister
and allegations of quid pro quo that you've made. What is the evidence on record? Give me evidence on record.
Corruption.
And I'll take. Give me evidence on record, and then I'll take it, to the experts as well. The argument that the BJP and many experts are making is that this is only something that has been made up by the opposition parties. There may be something wrong when it comes to a private company or a private individual, but to have these allegations, sweeping allegations of some kind of quid pro quo with the government, these are unfounded. They have no evidentiary basis. What is the basis of these allegations, ma'am?
See, Rahul Gandhi ji has actually in the floor of the parliament produced the evidence to this allegation. So many media reports have come. See, yesterday, my answer to my question, the government of India has said actually there was a DRI inquiry against Mr. Adani groups, and the inquiry is completed one issue. The other issue that regarding the Indonesia import, the coal import from Indonesia, that issue is still yet to be inquiry is completed. So the inquiry is completed. Then why are you keeping it for very secret? Why don't you put it in a public domain? Why don't you take action against that? We are asking. There is a DRI. Your agency, DRI itself conducted an inquiry. There is a report. There is a wrongdoing. There is a corruption. Then why you are not acting on it? It's not we are saying. There is a report of the government is there. Why don't you table it? Why don't you make it public?
In the history of modern independent India, and I don't have to go back, too much in time. During the coal scam and the 2G scam, the Supreme Court was looking into it. There was a parallel investigation that was being done by the CBI and Enforcement Directorate. The Supreme Court was involved, and then there was a demand of the Joint Parliamentary Committee that was made by the BJP.
Welcome back. We've uncovered the Chinese loan app scam. We've also exposed the Telegram financial fraud. And now we're blowing the lid off an online job scam. Here's a report by our colleague Yash Goel with this exclusive.
CNN News 18 has exposed multiple modus operandi which swindlers have undertaken to empty your bank accounts. Earlier, we exposed how Chinese loan apps were used to dupe people, followed by how Telegram apps were used to dupe people in the pretext of investing in cryptocurrencies. Now, we are bringing you yet another modus operandi of swindlers, which is entailed to empty your bank accounts. Amid mass layoffs across the world, fraudsters have zeroed in on a new target: desperate and vulnerable job seekers. Their tools are fake job ads and harvesting tactics, and the goal is to obtain money and sensitive information from job seekers.
स्कैम जो ये हो रहे हैं, ये वेरियस काइंड्स ऑफ मोडस ऑपरेंडीज हैं जो साइबर स्पेस में करी जाती हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ मनी आता है, मतलब इट इज़ काइंड ऑफ अ फाइनेंशियल फ्रॉड। ये यहाँ पर वर्ल्ड में, यूरोप में, यूएस में, हर जगह पर ये चीज़ें होती हैं।
According to the police, the scam is broken down into 8 steps. Fake or duplicate websites are created in such a manner that they appear to be genuine and anyone can be easily deceived. The jobs are promoted on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube with the promise of big pay packages. The fraudsters get millions of paid likes and ratings and reviews through digital marketing techniques so that victims are convinced. Artificial intelligence is also used to pop up before people on their screens with online jobs or work from home options. Interested parties are asked to establish contact. Once the victim is convinced, they are contacted by messaging apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. Then, users are assigned the task of selling or purchasing products and services for any company. Victims are asked to create a work ID on the website. An e-wallet is designed where the user can see various options like balance, task, order, withdrawal, selling and flagging off of products. Users get carried away when they see that the product or the service is sold out and the money reflects as balance in their wallet. But in reality, they have been conned by people who have complete control over the website and can make modification in users' accounts. When the victim tries to withdraw money, they are shown remaining tasks and asked to recharge their wallet with half the value of the item to be sold. In the end, the website disappears without a trace and the con is complete. We spoke to a victim who revealed that it wasn't just their money but also sensitive data that was phished.
He contacted me through WhatsApp and asking like if you are interested to doing a part-time job so we can start the process. I replied like I'm interested. He shared one link and I opened that link and create my account with the username and ID password. And after that, one account has opened through the name of like Amazon kind of details has been given over that account which I have generated or which I have opened. So after that, he was saying that you have to register with few nominal charges. It was a scam. So when he was approaching me like you have to add more money to buy some order from the Amazon link. So I was adding the amount. I was adding the amount to recover my money, but it was a scam. Like I lost so many orders.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So it was around 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh actually.
Delhi police apprehended a group of cyber criminals who were allegedly involved in these online job scams. According to the cops, the accused were operating in collusion with Chinese companies, but the syndicate mastermind operated from Dubai.
In this particular case also, where we received the complaint and registered in December the FIR, there also the server where the website was hosted is in China, and the mobile number were used for WhatsApp and Telegram, their IP address is also from China. So stating this that there is involvement from the people in China, I think this is true. It cannot be denied.
As per the Delhi police, nearly 11,000 people have been scammed across India. Their money siphoned off using a shell company via offshore crypto exchanges.
The account that she transferred the money into, that particular account had a transaction of more than 5 crore rupees in one day, in single day. And the unique IDs in that particular account doing the transaction were more than 30,000. In a one day, 5 crore rupees transaction and more than 30,000 victims, I would say, is huge to be considered.
So how does one safeguard themselves from such scams? Make sure to only use verified apps and websites. Think twice before answering any suspicious phone call or replying to dubious emails. Always double check authenticity of a company and don't pay the price for the promise of a job. Remember, it could be too good to be true.
Ultimately, the thought process is very clear. They want to generate money from the Indian market. They want to target the hapless, innocent Indian user who wants to potentially see hope in these kinds of apps. And then this money gets to be used for a variety of purposes, including against the national interest and the national security of India.
While India is transforming digitally, there needs to be greater awareness among the public. Otherwise, they will easily fall prey to the growing web of cyber crimes. For CNN News 18, this is Yash Goel.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Amid sloganeering and uproar over Rahul Gandhi's UK speech, day 5 of this budget session today was also washed out. Both houses of parliament were adjourned within half an hour till Monday, following some fireworks. The BJP is up in arms, seeking Rahul Gandhi's apology over his remarks on democracy in London, while the opposition created a ruckus in parliament, demanding a JPC in the Adani Hindenburg route. Congress continues to stay defiant and has made it clear no matter what, Rahul Gandhi is not going to apologize. While the BJP is also in no mood to relent, and they seem to be preparing for Gandhi's suspension from the House now. Leaders of several opposition parties, in fact, staged a dharna at Gandhi's statue in Parliament over the Adani issue and raised slogans against the government. Sonia Gandhi